6 p.m. in the Muea, south region of Cameroon. Same time right here in the economic capital city of Douala. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me on today's edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast. I am Immaculate Forward. First, our major stories. After celebrating his 41st anniversary, the head of state, President Paul Biya, comes 2 days later to condemn the attack that led to the death of over 27 civilians in Egbeko village, southwest region. In an official telegram to the governor of the southwest region, he instructs competent authorities to organize urgent assistance to the victims while calling for investigations to be launched. And in a similar story, dressed in black and red, the population of Mamfe in the southwest region carried out a peaceful march to mourn the victims of the Egbeko attack and also condemn the continuous atrocities carried out in the northwest and southwest regions. Those are major stories. Stay with us for details and more. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for staying tuned to this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast. We begin over in the southwest region, where the people of Mamfe have told to move closer to God in order to make them to be spared from bloodshed. Reverend Pastor Ntui Raphael made a declaration during a prayer walk that took place in Mamfe town as they mourn those who died at the Egbeko New Layout neighborhood. We have details with Smarty and Gabriel.
In black and red, inhabitants of Mamfe in Muea division say no to war, no to unjust killings, and calls for peace.
We continue to sue for peace in our land. As far as we are concerned, we continue to preach peace to our people. Our division is a God-fearing division. We are not used to spillage of blood, so we put it in God's own hands to fight our enemies. Amen. And we know God will give us the victory. Amen.
The peaceful demonstration comes several days after the massacre that took place at Egbeko village, where, according to government spokesman Emmanuel Rene Sadi, 25 persons died and 9 injured. The peaceful demonstration that took place on the streets of Mamfe was led by a priest who says it was an order that came from God.
It is an order of the Lord, a prophetic order, that the sons and daughters of Muea should make a march, a prayer march, 7 times to the place. And that if not, the wars shall come. And so we are merely doing this obeisance to the Lord for peace to reign in the land.
The man of God has this message for Christians in Mamfe.
The Christians of Muea, they are not wicked people. But one thing they have failed to understand is that they have not given their life to Jesus. Let them hand over their life to Jesus Christ, completely, wholly and entirely. And the Lord, who is the giver of life and gives the life more abundantly, will make the flow of life flow into the land of Muea.
Till now, nobody is aware of the real identities of those who caused the mayhem in Egbeko village. But the government says the Muea Unity Warriors, which is a faction of the Ambazonian Defense Force, were the perpetrators of the act.
On a similar story, the President of the Republic of Cameroon, President Paul Biya, and the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres have condemned the killing of civilians in Mamfe, Muea division of the southwest region. While President Paul Biya promises to track down perpetrators and punish them according to the law in force, the UN scribe challenged Cameroonian authorities to seek a political solution to the crisis in the Anglophone northwest and southwest regions of the country. Femi Armstrong Sander has details.
In an official telegram addressed to the governor of the southwest region of Cameroon, President Paul Biya says he was shocked to learn of the high death toll following the cowardly and barbaric attack perpetrated by an armed group in the town of Mamfe in the Muea division of the southwest region. In line 2, President Paul Biya says he strongly condemns this dreadful act that claims the lives of innocent and peaceful citizens, instructing competent authorities to organize urgent assistance for families of victims. President Paul Biya gave assurances that measures will be put in place to track down and punish perpetrators as provided by the law in force. Any attempts to sow the seeds of insecurity in our country will always be doomed to failure, for the unity and stability of our nation are most valuable asset, added President Pobia in his telegram. In another statement, the spokesperson of the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres says the Secretary General Antonio Guterres strongly condemns the 6th November attack against civilians in a Breko, Mamfe district in the southwest region of Cameroon, which reportedly left to several persons killed, including children. Many others were injured and displaced, and properties were destroyed. Antonio Guterres stresses that attacks against civilians are unacceptable. He extends his deepest condolences to the families and calls on the government of Cameroon to conduct an investigation and to ensure that those responsible are held accountable. He urges all Cameroonian stakeholders to work towards a political solution to the crisis in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon.
And on to something else, the Navy has seized millions of liters of contraband fuels since the beginning of 2023. In one of its most recent patrol missions, about 125 gallons of fuel were seized at sea. Babla Jonathan reports.
3,000 liters of fuel of doubtful source and 6,000 liters of palm oil seized by the Cameroon Navy. Navy officers intercepted the boat transporting the illicit products during a patrol operation on Cameroon's territorial waters led by Captain Fonkwa under the supervision of Douala Navy Base Commander Captain Fege.
This is an operation which has been put in place by the National Marine of Cameroon, the Surface Forces and the Naval Base of Douala. It carried on with an amount of 125 gallons of petroleum product, which has been seized by the elements of the National Marine.
Toutes ces saisies représentent des milliards, je dis bien des milliards de francs gagnés par l'État à travers les amendes, les impôts, les taxes payées par les contravenants en redressement.
Such operation
pour l'année 2023.
Since the beginning of the year, the Navy has seized 3 million liters of fuel, 10 tons of fish, tens of tons of rice, illicit drugs, car engines and spare parts.
As you know, we are approaching the end of the year. So the National Marine is there to assure that the population are safe during this period.
La Marine nationale exécute des missions de défense et de sécurisation du territoire, offrant ainsi un cadre propice au développement économique. La Marine nationale, c'est aussi la mission de l'action de l'État en mer.
The Navy has also been rescuing lives and fighting pirates at sea.
And we take you to Lum in the Mongo division of the Lithura region, where limited access to portable water, frequent park cuts and dilapidated roads are some of the preoccupations raised by the population of that area. Speaking during the budgetary session, the mayor and other councillors assured the population that concrete measures will be taken to ameliorate their living conditions. Details with Mala Glory.
To get even poor quality water in the town of Lum is the battle of the fittest. Locals cover long distances in search of the precious liquid. Aside the absence of adequate potable water, the lack of frequent electric supply and waste management are the major preoccupation of locals. The internally displaced persons found in this area say the garbage littered around the markets affect their businesses and exposes them to numerous health issues.
We only day for years, so we don't run now.
We run away from the war for safety and to fend for our family, but the garbage around here is not helping things. The children are exposed to mosquitoes.
Even picking, you know, if you bring picking for market.
These worries and more were raised during the 2023 budgetary session of the Lum Council, during which The mayor said a number of projects have been proposed, but they are waiting for community stakeholders to decide on the priority projects.
We don't put them for down, for say we work for them, for see why we go through some. We don't put plaba for.
We have talked on the issue of bad roads, lack of potable water, electricity and schools, but the people have to choose where the council should put more emphasis.
And now the people go choose for see the play where Mary go insist for them.
School structure falling to pieces while students are struggling to gain knowledge. Deplorable state of roads among the many social amenities needed by the locality.
And inhabitants of Douala 3 have voiced out the challenges they have been facing for several years. Speaking to their mayor, they made him understand how underdevelopment has greatly hampered the growth of their neighborhoods. Details with our reporter, Cedric Chakutio, who compiled their reactions.
Bad roads, lack of employment opportunities and insecurity are some of the many problems faced by inhabitants of the Douala 3 subdivision. The problems were exposed to development stakeholders and municipal authorities of the area during an exchange platform organized by the mayor of Douala 3.
Nous avons vraiment de l'éclairage, mais nous n'avons pas de lampes.
Beaucoup de jeunes ne sont toujours pas pris en compte lorsque vous présentez des projets.
For the youth of the municipality, the council is not doing enough to support them.
Nous les jeunes, nous avons un souci déjà, c'est que nous ne sommes pas.
Us youth, our major problem is that we don't feel that the council listens to us. We see that we are not supported by our elders and authorities of our locality. To others, the problem of roads and inundations hinders the effectiveness of their daily social activities like schooling.
Il y a le mauvais état de la route. Vous voyez, généralement quand il pleut,
the bad state of road, yes. It's generally when we get ready for school, we have that fear of being dirty before even arriving. This due to the bad road. Some of us can even fall into the mud because you know it is a rainy season.
Depuis, il y a les grains qui n'ont pas débouché. Il y a les inondations. Depuis qu'ils ont commencé à travailler depuis 5 Thomas, ils n'ont pas fini. Or, s'ils continuent à travailler, les inondations là, ça ne devait pas nous déranger.
At the end of the exchange, some of the over 2 million inhabitants of Douala 3 subdivision sounded optimistic that their worries will be taken into consideration and quick solution given.
And now we talk education. Most girls and women in Cameroon who are into the science field often face discrimination despite their know-how in research fields. In order to help bring, and she now explains to us the outcome.
In Cameroon, women developed interest